with a goal to explain what each line of program should do. We are using pseudocode as a blueprint to create computer logic. And what is computer logic? It is a series of steps needed for a computer to run our program. How do we get our pseudocode to run? Well, we convert our pseudocode into code following that computer logic. So why do we pseudocode? Well, as a beginner, we need to learn how to organize and communicate our thoughts. We are also learning how to create logic that a computer will understand by using this process. These blueprints help us write better code and reduce the errors that we could potentially make by having something we can reference to. Now, one more thing that needs to be addressed on why we pseudocode. At some point in your journey, you may be asked to do a technical interview. And as part of the technical interview process, you will be given a problem and asked to pseudocode your solution. And the reasoning behind this is to first show how well you can communicate with the people you are potentially going to work with. And second, how well you can use logic to reach a solution. In these interviews, it's not necessarily the case that you have to reach the correct solution, but instead show that you can organize and communicate your thoughts to reach a solution. Now, in this video, we aren't going to focus on code, but the process of pseudocode. And one of the most common questions in the beginning is, how do I pseudocode? And pseudocode is a list of instructions. And one of the best ways to practice pseudocode is to write out instructions to everyday tasks. You can think of pseudocode as a recipe. When a baker follows a recipe to make bread, the expected outcome is that as long as they follow the instructions, they will have bread at the end of the process. So with pseudocode, we are making the recipe. Now let's pseudocode together. And we are going to pseudocode how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And make your starting point that you already have the ingredients for the sandwich on hand. And here's my suggestion. Pause the video, write out your pseudocode, and compare that to what I have on the screen. So if you're planning on pausing the video, do so now, and in 5 seconds, the video will continue on. So how did you do? Don't worry if you didn't do enough or if you felt you did too much. If this is your first time, this is just part of the learning process. So let's begin. First, gather your ingredients. Second, open your ingredients. Third, place bread on the plate. Fourth, grab your utensil. Fifth, spread peanut butter on one slice of bread using the utensil. 6. Spread jelly on the other slice of bread using the utensil. 7th, place peanut butter side of the first bread on top of the jelly side of the other bread. Now, did you have more or less steps than I had? If you had less steps, maybe you were wondering why I would include some of these steps. When we are pseudocoding, we need to provide the computer as many steps needed to accomplish the task. For example, I included the utensil because typically when we make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, they are a messy affair, and we need a utensil to take the peanut butter and place it on our bread and take the jelly and place it on our other slice of bread. I did not include an exact quantity of peanut butter and jelly, but in the real world, when we're programming with mathematical values, you will need to include a way to store and manage those mathematical values. I also gave you a starting point where we already had the ingredients on hand. What if we didn't? Well, we would have to include the process of writing out the list for the ingredients and going to the store and buying each ingredient. And what if the store didn't have the ingredients to make your sandwich? This is what we call an edge case. So what is an edge case? An edge case is an uncommon situation that could push the boundaries of your pseudocode and may need to be accounted for, such as the grocery store being out of ingredients to make your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you were to make a computer program that took two numbers and add them together, what would be the edge case? The edge case would be either you only received one of the two numbers, or one of the numbers wasn't a number, but a word. And these are the situations that could derail your code and cause unexpected errors when under normal conditions, your program would just work. All right, so what should be taken from this video? First, we need to practice pseudocode. Second, if we aren't sure how to start, take an everyday task and convert that to pseudocode. Lastly, when working on the pseudocode, be aware of potential edge cases. Thanks for watching and happy coding.